yourself, go to the computer and Google Europe unlabeled map, and just see how many countries you can find and label, right? This is something that Secretary of State, what was that guy's name? Pompeo. Whenever he got mad at a couple of reporters, and during interviews, and he'd insist, he'd say, and they'd tell these nasty reporters who were trying to trip him up, I dare you to find Kazakhstan on this map, or whatever country they were talking about, right? And didn't have the countries. And apparently it was very effective. Until word got out that, he did this, so everybody's sweating up on all the questions around the world. I have decided to do this. I think this is a helpful exercise. There's so many countries that I don't know a damn thing about, to be honest. And I'm going to study a country a week. One country a week. For instance, what does anybody know about Angola? Tell me 2 things you know about Angola there, Rich. It's in Africa. Okay, that's 1. Number 2. That's all I got. Yeah, I'm with you. I think there was a civil war there at one time. So I need 2 things. I did not know that the population is 37 million people. I did not know that the capital city is Luanda. I did not know that there is a heavy Portuguese influence. Portugal and Angola, they don't go together, but apparently they do. Now I know what the flag looks like, so I don't want to whip out more stuff than just that. So, next time I meet a cab driver from Mexico,
Hey, can you do the pasta? I'm in Newark Airport.
Okay.
You need to teach me how to do it when I get home. Okay, see you soon. See you later. Thank you.
modern American version of a Scud missile, which you probably heard about from the Iraq days already back in 1991.
Yep.
The Ukrainians have longer range drones and bigger payload weapon systems.
Yo, what's up, people? What's up? Yo.
In 900 feet, use the right lane to stay to the right 2 terminals A, B, and C, all parking.
Yep. On to the next one. Newark Airport.
Stay to the right 2 terminals A, B, and C, all parking.
No passengers.
Then use the left lane to stay to the left to daily parking P3, P4, valet parking P4, economy parking P6, rental car returns. Use the left lane to stay to the left to daily parking P3, P4, valet parking P4, economy parking P6, rental car returns. Then turn left on Pitcairn Road. Turn left on Pitcairn Road.
In Ukraine has within a matter of weeks.
In 400 feet, turn left on Brewster Road. Turn left on Brewster Road.
That doesn't work. So we have hundreds of billions of dollars of investment in lots of stuff that the Pentagon has paid, and it's really not high in demand in Ukraine because it's been, like I said, been rendered useless. The Iranians have been shooting hundreds and hundreds of weapon systems.
In a quarter of a mile, use the left lane to turn left.
Against our ships in the Red Sea. Unfortunately, they haven't made anything yet. Don't know the success of these attack missiles.
Exxon gas station. 7-Eleven now. Let's see if it's reopened. I don't think it's reopened yet. Let's see what's going on with 7-Eleven.
Turn left, then turn left.
It's not open yet. It's a shish kebab. Oh my goodness, it's not open yet.
Yeah, just to build on what Eric Prince and what you mentioned with regard to the attack on these long-range missiles. Yeah. It's just simply a redundancy. Everything we've sent so far, F-16s, everything we sent so far, every weapon system has not turned the tide. This is a losing war, a losing enterprise. You should cut your losses, realize that it's a train in vain, and don't spend any more money and don't make any more provocations against the Russian Federation. We should have amicable international relations with the Kremlin. Ever since the end of the Cold War, we've been spending hand over fist trillions of dollars on national defense when we should be building alliances with Russia.
Yeah, all right. You know what? You just called it the Russian Federation. I've never
Turn left, then turn left.
called the Russian Federation.
Well, it's an official name.
No, we call it Russia. I mean, the first time I think that you might be, Nate, anything we need to know about you? Would you pass the security background check for the United States government? Be honest, would you? They get to look at your cell phone. You were a little nervous there. They get to look at your cell phone and everything, foreign contact. I think we just discovered a foreign agent. But those are legal as long as you're registered, Nate. As long as you're registered. Is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio, WABC New York and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
77 WABC News, first at 59 past the hour, 60 degrees under mostly sunny skies on this Tuesday, November 19th. Good afternoon, I'm James Flippin. According to the latest Harvard CAPS Harris poll, a slight majority of voters approve of the job of President-elect Trump. 54% approve compared to 40% who disapprove of Trump in terms of performance. The amount in favor include 91% of Republicans and less than a quarter of Democrats. There's also reportedly a growing battle inside the Republican Party as to how to handle the mass deportation of illegal migrants. Trump announced he'll enact a national emergency and look to use military assets to carry out those deportations when he enters the White House. Meanwhile, here in New York City, President Trump's November 26th, or President-elect Trump, I should say, November 26th sentencing in the so-called hush money cases on hold for now. Judge Juan Merjan delayed ruling on Trump's argument for presidential immunity, and the DA in the case actually agreed with that, the Manhattan District Attorney opposing the case being dismissed, but in favor of sentencing being delayed. One of the new members of Congress set to be sworn in come January is getting a lot of attention.
The first openly transgender member of Congress, Delaware Sarah McBride, would be barred from using the women's bathrooms on Capitol Hill under a resolution introduced by South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace.
I don't want to see him again in a women's restroom. That's what I'm saying. And it's not going to be anything up here.
Mace's resolution would require House members and staff to use the bathroom that corresponds with their biological sex.
Sarah McBride doesn't get a say in this. As a biological man trying to force himself into women's spaces.
House Democrats, including Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, are blasting the resolution, calling it bullying. Noel Layton, WABC News.
Ukraine has reportedly begun to fire U.S.-made missiles into Russia.
That's according to Russian military officials who say it shot down 5 U.S.-made missiles today, marking the first time Ukraine has launched a strike on Russia since President Biden gave the okay for the country to use U.S. weapons against Russia. This as Russian President Vladimir Putin says he's updating his country's nuclear doctrine. The Kremlin now says it will consider any aggression from a non-nuclear state that has help from a nuclear country as a joint attack. I'm Scott Carr in Washington.
New York Jets owner Woody Johnson has confirmed the team's parting ways with general manager Joe Douglas. In a statement, Johnson thanked Joe for his commitment to the team over the last 6 years. Former Cleveland Browns GM Phil Savage serving as interim GM for the rest of the season. And this coming 6 weeks after head coach Robert Saleh was fired, New York tied for last in the AFC East. The USPS, the United States Postal Service, may cost you a little more next year.
USPS is raising its prices on priority mail and ground advantage packages starting early next year. The United States Postal Service says the price will be going up around 4%. The good news is the price of stamps will stay the same. They do offer a plethora of holiday stamps, including snow globes, Christmas Madonna, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, along with the classic American flag. But in January, they're issuing a new stamp featuring Betty White. I'm Monica Nelson.
New York City restaurants with outdoor dining setups on the city streets have until the end of the month to remove them. The city's transportation department says those establishments must remove their roadway cafes by November 29th or risk being fined. They will be able to put them back up in April of next year. Meanwhile, eateries with compliance-based sidewalk cafes can continue operating year-round. Earlier this year, the city unveiled the Dining Out NYC program, which requires restaurants to follow city standards when it comes to outdoor dining in order to address quality of life concerns. Down in Washington, D.C., a House hearing is getting underway related to accusations that FEMA aid was politicized during the hurricane season. The House Oversight Committee set to listen to testimony from FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell after a FEMA official said relief workers were told to avoid homes with Trump signs. That worker has since spoken out and said she's being made the scapegoat and was just following official protocol. The aid was related to Hurricane Helene. A Los Angeles County resident has died in connection with an E. coli outbreak linked to contaminated organic carrots. This after a similar recent concern tied to slivered onions at McDonald's hamburgers. Public health officials say that 39 people have been infected across 18 states, with 15 of them hospitalized and connected to the tainted carrots. WABC News Time, 3:04, sports, weather, and Wall Street next.
Coming up at 3:55 p.m., listen for the Tunnel of Towers Foundation Final Thoughts on 77 WABC.
Sid Rosenberg here. If you're searching for a vibrant, welcoming community for mom or dad, River Spring Living Senior Housing just may be the option you're looking for. Set on a beautiful 32-acre campus right along the Hudson River with incredible views of the New York City skyline, there are plenty of chances to engage in activities, wellness programs, and so much more. From independent living to assisted living and memory care, specialized teams are dedicated to making everyone feel right at home. See for yourself. Visit riverspringliving.org to schedule a tour today. That's riverspringliving.org.
You talk, we listen. 77 WABC.
Turn right on Lindbergh Road.
77 WABC News, continuing the tradition of delivering the best radio news.
77 WABC chime time, 3:05 in sports. The third night of NBA Cup group play tips off this evening, and meanwhile, NBA insider Shams Charania reports that Philadelphia 76ers star Tyrese Maxey has challenged fellow star Joel Embiid to be on time for team activities, and he reportedly, Maxey, called out Embiid about being late for everything. FanDuel's latest odds say the 9-1 Detroit Lions are now the favorites to win Super Bowl 59. Detroit's never played in a Super Bowl. Stocks mixed on Wall Street. The Dow is down 169 points. Here's your forecast from the Ramsey Mazda Weather Desk. Sunny this afternoon, a high near 58. Winds on the calmer side. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low near 48. Again, calm wind. WABC News Time, 3:06. Dominic Carter next. 60 degrees, scattered cloud cover in Midtown. I'm James Flippin, and the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
Turn left to New Jersey Turnpike North, I-95, I-78, Garden State Parkway, New York.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And there is a lot going on today. Number
sentencing while he's the president of the United States, but opposes tossing the case entirely. So let's get this right. Trump is, 78 years old? When he's done with his term, he'll be 82 years old. And you want the president of the United States to be sentenced at that time, District Attorney Alvin Bragg. This while you're trying to throw Hero Marine Daniel Penny in jail. It's all wrong. The number to reach me this hour, 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. So Trump's being sentenced was put off a number of times, and now a statement read by the people, by Alvin Bragg's office in court. The people, or at least in the documents, the people deeply respect the office of the president, are mindful of the demands and obligations of the presidency, and acknowledge that defendants' inauguration will raise unprecedented legal questions. Then the filing reads as well, we also deeply respect the fundamental role of the jury in our constitutional system. A second headline we're dealing with this hour. Nobody misses a beat. Look at what happened just yesterday in New York. Nobody misses a beat. Nobody says anything referring to the suspected killer, the homeless killer who went on that New York City stabbing spree and confessed that he picked the victims because they were alone and distracted. This is part of a report on WABC TV.
A horrific rampages across New York City. 3 people murdered, viciously stabbed at random on the street. The man charged in the killing spree expected in court at any moment. And good afternoon, I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Tanya Rivero, in for Sandra. We begin with the 3 people brutally murdered on the streets of New York City, and the latest on the man who police say confessed to the killings.
51-year-old Ramon Rivera allegedly went on a stabbing spree across Manhattan that left 3 people dead in a matter of hours. Video shows the suspect putting on gloves and tucking knives into his pants moments before the killings. And it could have been worse if an everyday New Yorker hadn't helped police.
Elon Musk has already tweeted about this on Twitter, on X. And we all know now that this suspect a month ago was on Rikers Island. Long rap sheet. This keeps happening. It's not going to stop. At what point do our alleged elected officials who reportedly represent us, allegedly, when do they do something? You cannot continue with the homeless the way it's happening in New York. It is just not working. Innocent people are dying. 800-848-9222. We're going to start with your calls momentarily. We're going to beginning with your calls in about 30 seconds here. But I want you to see your calls that are coming in. I want you to also listen to this. This is Judge Janine on the Fox News channel. The prosecution rested yesterday in the trial of Marine veteran Daniel Penny. The defense putting on their case now. This thing is probably going to the jury, probably by the end of the week. And this Marine's life is on the line. So we have 3 people stabbed to death randomly in New York yesterday, and a guy that decided to do something, that decided to step in and help fellow New Yorkers. He's on trial, and that trial will probably go to the jury by the end of the week. With his freedom on the line. This is how the story was covered on the Fox News channel and also with Judge Janine.
10 a.m. Eastern Time today, Marine veteran Daniel Penny. Manslaughter trial will resume right here in New York City with the medical examiner back on the stand.
On Friday, she testified that Neely had synthetic drugs in his system, but died as a result of that chokehold. And today, the defense will present its case as the prosecution rests.
So, right now we brought in former prosecutor and the co-host of The Five, Judge Janine Pirro. She's been in the courtroom. Judge, you've been in the room with the jury as they have listened to this testimony. Are you getting a read on how they're taking it?
Nope.
No.
You know, these juries now are very cognizant of the fact that we're watching them every second. But what I can tell you is that this jury is unlike any jury I've ever seen. I'm used to a somewhat homogenous group, you know, the kind of group that you could see going out to dinner. They are so different. They are young, they are old, they are black, they are white. And virtually every one of them has been on a subway. So they know better than most of us what it's like on the subway. And what has been described for them in this case is the kind of scenario where I don't know that any of them have experienced anything this wild.
Telephone calls 808, find a way to do it. Be it whether they have a gun, they have a knife, they have a car, they have a sledgehammer. Somebody wanting to do harm will find a way to do it. Yeah, but my bottom line, Peter, is that this individual should not have been on the street, and you know, the politicians are failing us terribly. Peter, thank you for the call, Rockland County. Let's go to Gail in Cortland, line 2, and we're taking your telephone calls, your live calls right now, 800-848-9222. Gail, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I am heartsick over what happened to those three innocent people who were stabbed. And let me tell you, if anyone votes for Alvin Bragg again, they are responsible.
Hey, wait, Gail, but I'll do you one better. You're saying if anybody votes for Alvin Bragg, right now he has no opposition. He's the only choice for district attorney, Democrat or Republican. So in other words, the system rewards itself. He is the only candidate right now, the only one for Manhattan District Attorney. Okay, Gail's not with us anymore. I don't know what happened to Gail's call. Let's go to Mike in Wayne, New Jersey on line 3. Mike, what's on your mind?
How you doing, brother? What we're going to do with Daniel Penny is he's going to be a scapegoat, just like the police officer with George Floyd. They're afraid that there's going to be a riot if he's found not guilty, and he's going to be found guilty, unfortunately. And that's what they're going to do. They did the same thing with George Floyd.
You know, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, Mike, and I hope that you're not right, but you might be, because you look at the fact that, you know, I don't care how many times civil rights advocates tell you George Floyd was a career criminal with drugs in his system that did not listen to the orders of the police officers. And you're right, Mike, as a result, those officers are sitting in jail, and George Floyd is a martyr. I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense. It's not smart to tell children of color that this career criminal is a martyr. It doesn't help anyone. I hope that's not what they plan on doing to this Marine that served in the military for the country. This Marine that tried to help other people, and people, Mike, as you know, that do not look like him. There were some African-American women in that subway car, and he stood up. And look what he got as a result for stepping up and doing the right thing. Thank you for the call, Mike and Wayne. Let's go to Michael in Manhattan, line 5. Michael, what's on your mind?
Hello. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a retired cop, and I think that the officers who made the 8 arrests of this psychotic killer who had been arrested and locked up by them, they should become a lobbying group. You should find the officers who arrested him in the past and ask them how they feel about getting this dirtbag off the street and he goes bananas. You need to really buckle down, and to use my clown name, earnest desire. You do not have an earnest desire to fight crime. And getting back to the Republicans, they should have a candidate against Body Bag Bragg, forthwith.
Wow, Body Bag Bragg. Interesting. Michael, thank you for your call, and thank you for your service as a police officer. It is greatly and always appreciated. For the record, folks, I don't second-guess police officers until you've walked a day in their shoes. Don't do the double talk. Don't do the Monday morning quarterback. Walk a day in their shoes, and then you'll see. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
This is Dominic Carter. The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Hello, I'm Mike Huckabee. President Trump has made history and is back in the White House. And your kids need to know what this means for their future and our country. That's why they need the Kids Guide to President Trump. This fun guide will teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his plan to save America and make it great again. Right now, I want you to have it for free. To order, visit TrumpForKids.com. That's TrumpForKids.com. Visit TrumpForKids.com now.
Janine Pirro here with an urgent warning. A financial war is coming and your savings are at risk. While inflation continues to kill the dollar, America's enemies have launched a final attack on the dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group for a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything you need to know. Go to freegoldguide.com/Pirro or call 800-965-8004 for your free gold guide and find out if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver now. This is Judge Janine Pirro with an important message. A mom and her son were being followed by a man in a parking lot. As he approached their car, she pulled out her Byrna launcher, and the sight of it was enough to make him quit. Byrna gives you the power to protect your family without lethal force. No permit, no background check, just peace of mind. Visit Byrna.com and use code Janine for 10% off. Remember, Byrna isn't legal in New York City or Yonkers. Stay safe, stay prepared with Byrna.
The word of the day is magnesium. Introducing Remag by Dr. Carolyn Dean. Experience the benefits of stabilized ionic magnesium and support your health today. Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off.
Use the middle 3 lanes to continue on Holland Tunnel.
Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off your first order. Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Protecting America with Radio
Continue on
Joining
Holland
us is
Tunnel.
Mark Otto, President and also the Executive Director of United War Veterans Council.
The interesting thing was there was a series of events that culminated into triggering the Pentagon invasion going off. One of the last incidents occurred with a Marine and a couple officers were out in town in their civilian clothing out on Liberty, and they got lost and they ended up in front of a PDF station, the Panamanian Defense Force station, after nearly declared war in the United States. They were near a roadblock. They tried to run away. The roadblock opened fire on them. They shot the Marine right through the back and injured a couple of the Navy officers that were in there as well. So Lieutenant Robert Paz was the Marine that was killed, and that was sort of the last trigger. And the reason why I know his name is because when I flew down to Panama, the invasion actually triggered right before we were going in.
Wow, what a historic moment.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
That's what I'm talking about.
Coming up at 3:55 p.m. Listen for the Tunnel of Towers Foundation final thoughts on Safe Time. Their goal is to get you feeling better. And hopefully surgery using targeted technology for precise focused surgery. Call today 800-600-KNE and schedule your no-cost application assessment. 800-600-KNE. Call 800-600-KNE. That's 800-600-5633. Download 77 WABC app
West
state
Street.
you're listening to me in right now. How are people supposed to know which homeless individuals are okay and which ones might stab you to death like what happened yesterday?
Exit
So
right
how is
2,
the
exit
public
2,
supposed
up
to
down
know
Hudson Street.
good homeless
Then use
person
either lane to turn
passes
right on Hudson Street.
homeless
Use
person
either lane to turn
versus
right on Hudson
bad
Street.
homeless
Then
individual,
use the left 2
aggressive
lanes to stay
individual
to the
that
left
may
to
pull
Hudson
out a
Street.
Christian knife
Traffic
and
toward
hit
Greenwich
you in
Village.
your last 2 minutes on earth
Dos
on the
minutos.
streets of New York
Do
City.
you know 2 minutos?
We see your telephone calls that are coming in, 800-848-9222.
Welcome,
Let's go
welcome.
back to the telephones. Let's go to line 5. Liz in Florida. The great Liz. Liz, how are you?
Hi, Dominic. Oh, you're so sweet. The great Dominic.
Oh, well, thank you. I gotta tell you something, Liz, before you go on with your comment. So I gave Frank Morano the beautiful and delicious donuts and cookies and brownies that you made for him and staff, and I have mine. I'm eating them every day, and I'm enjoying them because as a diabetic, they're sugar-free, except for the chocolate-covered strawberries. I only had 1 or 2, but they were absolutely delicious. So thank you. And what's on your mind today?
Oh, thank you, Dominic. So I just can't believe that there is nobody out there to run against Alvin Bragg, but someone needs to. And once he's out of office, New York City will be safer. But I'm just curious, if he does get replaced, what happens to Trump's case? Does it continue with the next district attorney?
It will be, as of right now, we don't know what the judge is going to do. The prosecutor is recommending that it be put on hold for the next 4 years until Trump is out of office. A new district attorney, we don't know what Judge Merchant is going to ultimately rule. A new district attorney could come in, but I hate to be the one to break the bad news to you, Liz. Alvin Bragg is not going anywhere. He's going to win re-election. That's just the way it is. And certainly, at least until you have somebody to run against him. But the next district attorney could come along and say, we're not pursuing this anymore, and in the interest of justice, dismiss the case. And who knows, the Justice Department, once Trump takes office, may decide that they may want to go into state court and try and fight to have the case dismissed. So, but right now, Liz, and I'll give you the final say, I'd rather be Trump on this, because no matter what, this case is going away. All of them are going away. Liz, you have the final word.
I totally believe that. I was just going to say, be safe walking in New York City. Go in groups, don't go alone right now until it gets calmer. And everybody be safe.
Fair enough, Liz. Thank you for the comment, and I was thinking about that today. Just today, walking in New York City.
Kidding me, boy.
They call me a naysayer or whatever, but I'm like, do I gotta watch the hands of everybody? And if they have on baggy clothing, they have to assume they may have a butcher's knife in there, and that they may try to stab me. That's the world that we're living in, and that's what literally happened on the streets of New York City yesterday. People minding their business. And a 51-year-old homeless man who's been charged with the crime had the nerve to, after he reportedly stabbed to death these 3 individuals, he decided he was tired and took a nap in police custody. Absolutely outrageous. We are coming back with more of your telephone calls, 800-848-9222.
Stone here for Cafe Palermo, home of the cannoli king in Little Italy on Mulberry Street, serving incredible Italian cuisine for lunch and dinner, and only in Cafe Palermo, delivering nationwide at goldbelly.com. Cafe Palermo, home of the cannoli king at 148 Mulberry Street in New York City. Stop in and say hi to Baby John, and tell him Roger sent you. And remember, leave a tip, but take the cannolis.
This is Judge Janine Pirro with an important message. A mom and her son were being followed by a man in a parking lot. As he approached their car, she pulled out her Berna launcher, and the sight of it was enough to make him flee. Berna gives you the power to protect your family without lethal force. No permits, no background checks, just peace of mind. Visit Byrna.com and use code Janine for 10% off. Remember, Byrna isn't legal in New York City or Yonkers. Stay safe, stay prepared with Byrna.
This is Positively Ernie. Now, here's Ernie and Estes.
Back on the streets of New York. Hey, you know, we all know politics is a tough topic. But how important is it for us to work together for the good of the country?
Well, I think it's very important for the children that are growing up, so then we teach them that no matter what side we're on, that we're still one team.
Yeah, that's so important because the kids, you know, really, they are the future, and they hear a lot, they see a lot. Yeah. We have to set the example, don't we?
Absolutely.
How about compromise? You know, people say, you know what, I believe one way, and that's it, and I'm not going to change. Well, how do we handle that?
Well, I mean, we have to teach them no matter what. We all disagree to agree. So at the end of the day, I think we just teach them that if you don't agree with something, I can't agree with something, let's come and meet in the middle. We both can feel like a better outcome.
We're happy that the elections are finally over. Okay, whichever way you go, but it's time to work together. How do you feel about that?
I guess I agree with that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, do you feel that people, you know, need to just settle down and just, you know, move on? Because it's a great country. We all love it. We just want to see the best for it, right?
Yeah, I think we just all should work together.
Tell me a little bit more about that in terms of how you feel. Why it's so important for us to be cooperative and to work together.
I think it's a good example for our kids to figure out how to work together.
Yeah, you know what? Children are very important. They hear and they see a lot, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have children?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you talk to them at all? Are they very young?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't talk about politics, right?
Not really,
Yeah,
no.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope things continue to go well. That's what we all want, right?
Totally.
Good things for America.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, good to see you.
Okay, there you have it. Thanks, everybody, and I hope to see you next time. With positive news you can use, I'm Ernie and Estes on 77 WABC.
For more positivity, listen anytime. Download and subscribe to Positively Ernie the podcast. Go to WABCRadio.com and the 77 WABC app.
That's what everybody's talking about. Judge Janine
Sunday morning at 11. It's the Judge Janine Tunnel the Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. On 77 WABC. 77 WABC. The crown jewel.
You coming or what?
Heard worldwide in 173 countries and all 50 states. WABC is committed to live and local radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. See what 77 WABC can do for you in your business. Call 929-552-7175 and advertise with 77 WABC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. Tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-579-9068. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmares today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-579-9068. That's 800-579-9068. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to the #1 Nielsen rated. The Dominic Carter Show. Thank you for listening. 77 WABC. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. I'm looking at my Twitter, at my X, at Dominic TV, and David Hans says, Dominic, Russ and the street mob have already convicted Daniel Penny. We can only hope that the jury grows a pair. We'll see what happens. As Judge Janine said in the piece that we ran at the top of the hour,
use the left lane to turn left on Bedford Street.
they ride the subway system. They know people that have been victimized, and if that's indeed the case, I do not see how you can vote to convict, or at least all of them, if you know the situation that exists in New York and cities like New York, and how out of control the subway system is. Another thing that just drives me batty happens to be, and everything's under the First Amendment. Oh, they have a First Amendment to come here and play this loud music and beg for money. They're protected as long as they're not down on the platform. They can play this loud music all day long, singing, dancing, whatever. And I'm sorry, guys, some of you give them little tips. You're encouraging bad behavior. They're never going to go away as long as you think that you're just helping out a fellow person in need of help. Before I continue, I'm going to focus on something in just 1 second here, and we will, of course, continue with your telephone calls. And coming up in 15 minutes, Curtis Lewa. There are two things I want to say. I want to tell you about Thanksgiving and how you can help us. But please, if you get a chance, folks, go to the WABC TikTok page at 77 WABC Radio. WABC TikTok page at 77 WABC Radio. So there's this new thing going on, a new phenomenon for Gen Z young people. And it's where young people using their talk, the words that they use, they write a script for somebody like me. So in other words, young people writing a script for basically a guy that's almost an old man. That would be me, right? So our social media team wrote a script for me, and these folks are the real deal. You know, I'm the one that's with you on the mic, but they're the ones that make me look good on social media and so on, and they do a wonderful job. No joke, right? No cap. So in young people's terms, that means no lie, no lie. So if you hear a young person say no cap, that means I'm not lying. If they say cap, then they're admitting to lying. So you'll see a video, and I'm told that Curtis Lewa is going to focus on it in just a couple of minutes coming up. But you'll see a video of myself around the station. You get a chance to see the station. And I'm using jargons or slogans that young people use. So go to the WABC TikTok page at WABC Radio. And my latest podcast that's up and running as of right now, just a short time ago, the Trump Dance, Sweeping America. And I really do believe this, that 47 may be the one to unify the country. Go to the WABC website, station website, WABCradio.com. Go to podcasts, scroll down, you'll see two from me. One is titled Dominic Carter City Hall. Dominic Carter City Hall. And this is part of the podcast that's just been posted. Madison Square Garden was rocking at the Ultimate Fighting Championship 309. A fighter, John Jones, just defended his heavyweight mixed martial arts title. What did he do next? He praised President-elect Trump, then walked over and gave Trump his championship belt, but also did the Trump dance in the ring with Trump sitting ringside. It's not just fighters doing the Trump dance, so are NFL players. The Trump dance is a phenomenon sweeping American sports and culture, dare I say, and it will take some time. Trump may be the one to bring America together, given time to unify the country.
Turn right on Grove Street.
actual podcast. So go to the WABC website, and it's titled Dominic Carter City Hall.
Okay, have a good day. Here is good.
Page. I think you'll enjoy the video that's put together by our wonderful social media team, Stephanie, Gina, Doug, all the folks back there, Eric, all of them that do, Will, all of them. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. Okay, so I see all of the telephone calls that are coming in. We're getting right back to them. But I am stating bravo. Bravo to South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace standing on principle. And don't call me and say, Dominic, you're encouraging discrimination, because I'm not. I'm saluting her because the Congresswoman is standing on
discrimination.
She is stating that incoming transgender lawmaker Sarah McBride is absolutely the reason behind her new bathroom bill. Mace stating, quote, a penis in the women's locker room, that's not okay.
This effort in response to Congresswoman McBride coming to Congress, yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, someone with a penis is in the women's locker room. That's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
Bravo for standing up on principle. Back to your telephone calls. Line 4, Tommy in Queens. Tommy, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir, Mr. Carter. I'm a disabled Vietnam veteran, and I wanted to just say a few things. But first, you made a great point.
Tommy, it's got to be quick because I have a lot of calls. But thank you for your compliment. But people, you scare me when you say you want to say a couple of things and then say but first. Because we have a lot of callers and I have very little time. Go right ahead, please.
But that man that guy was one of the greatest heroes of all time, and he has no backup. You said they have activists waiting outside. Where's all his support like a cop if he gets shot? All the cops are in the place there where the jury is. But here's the deal. He's not a homeless guy. The press keeps saying homeless. He has food every day, clean clothes. I don't understand why they say homeless. And he's getting checks to the family. But Mr. Carter, that guy was a true hero, and I wish we had more support from his fellow brothers, like all mine from Vietnam. Anyway, Mr. Carter.
Fair enough, Tommy. Thank you so much for the call. Tommy raises a good point. At the Penny trial, every day, these are retreads of the Sonny Carson days. And Curtis Lee knows about this. But a newer generation, and they're out there and they're claiming racism, and Daniel Penny is a racist, and they're pretending that there's a groundswell of support when it's 3 or 4 activists out there. But the last caller did make a very good point. The supporters for Penny need to be out there as well, especially now. This thing is going to the jury. And if you think, folks, that juries don't know what's going on, I got a bridge to sell you. So if there are supporters out there for Mr. Healing, and it's a knee-jerk reaction for everything, it's been the same tired line for some 40 years. White people are responsible for everything bad. Give us an opportunity. Why won't you take your knee off my back? Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
But the Marines need supporters down there as well. Because
blah, 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 blah,
the one story they're paying attention to on TV, they're not supposed to watch, the one story they're paying attention to is the trial of this Marine. And all they see are people out there on behalf of Neely, but not on behalf of the Marine. Before I take the next call, nearly 1.3 million New Yorkers are struggling to feed themselves and their families. Please consider partnering with the WABC Foundation, AARP of New York, the Catholic Charities, and St. Francis Feeding the Hungry. There are so many hungry people. Help those in need, and with your help, we can.
Who's hungry?
Last year we fed over 10,000 families, and this year we are looking to do more. Go to redappleaudionetworks.com/turkey to feed the hungry this holiday season. Back to your calls. Let's go to Danny.
Who is hungry?
Long Island. Danny, what's on your mind?
Who's hungry?
Hi, Dominic. Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Daniel Penny, if I was his attorney and had to put on my defense, I would say that he made a citizen's arrest. And in fact, the burden for a citizen is that be in fact committed. So if Daniel Penny saw this crime going on with his own eyes, he could illegally effectuate.
I don't think I don't think that would work well. First of all, remember, any defense, anything you plan on doing, you gotta explain it to the judge. So I doubt that the judge would approve. They can't even get Neely's drug use admitted into evidence. So that just wasn't going to happen. Danny, I have a lot of calls. Thank you. I'm trying to move to as many as I can. Mary in New Jersey. Mary, what's on your mind?
Now that the president is back in office, if Daniel Penny gets convicted, he will pardon him. No problem.
No, he won't. It's a state crime. The president cannot pardon Mr. Neely in this case. This is a state crime. It's not a federal crime. Right.
If he has friends, he'll find friends, and he'll get him pardoned that way.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Mary. If he goes down, he will. If he's convicted, he will appeal. But this is horrible, and it sends. Again, thank you for the call, Mary. So 3 innocent people stabbed to death in a horrible way, a horrible nature. In New York, on the streets of New York City, the last thing they ever did in their life. And yet we have a Marine that went to bat for people on a subway car, people that don't even look like him, and his life is on the line. He's already faced enormous damage to his reputation, and the horrible hits just keep coming. Sandra, New Jersey, line 1. What's on your mind, Sandra?
Well, there's going to be an event at Mar-a-Lago on Friday called Mothers of Influence and Champion of Freedom Awards. And one of the big sponsors is called Coalition for Liberty. And people need to learn about it if they go to Coalition for Liberty.
Well, what's the point? What's the point you're trying to make? There's an event at Mar-a-Lago on Friday. Okay, and?
No, but the point I'm making is this Coalition for Liberty is very important for people, all of us, who are either being shamed or canceled from our jobs or any wrongdoing that's happening, like that bakery. So there are lawyers in this coalition that will help you, but other lawyers will not. And there is a whole directory of things that this coalition will do to help all the people that are conservative, that are patriots, that need help. They have small voices, so if they go to this coalition, their answers may be helped. And that's very important. The Coalition for Liberty.com.
Okay, I heard you the first time, Sandra. Thank you very much for the call. Quickly, Russ in White Plains. What's on your mind, Russ? Who are you hating on today?
Well, I'm loving you. I'll see you on Thursday from 10 a.m. to noon at the Yonkers Riverfront Library.
So wait. So you're actually coming, Russ?
Absolutely. I'll have a blue mask on so Ilona doesn't ask me for a date.
And so I'll get a chance to meet Russ on Thursday, and you're right, I'll be there at the Yonkers Riverfront Library. So you're going to be there.
Right, and I expect Teddy and his Teddy Square hooligans to be there out in force, so I'll have my leather football helmet ready too. So, but the other caller said that Trump is going to pardon him. Trump said that it looked like Penny went too far. Let's hear from the witnesses. Donald Trump's not a reactionary. He's a moderate person. And, the witness told Penny to stop, but Penny was in a homicidal trance. He was the only danger on that.
So, Russ, if you're in trouble, and I'm late for a break, if you're in trouble, don't you want a Daniel Penny around?
No, I certainly don't want someone to kill me because I throw my jacket down like a man.
To protect you. Come on, Russ, to protect you.
To protect me? I want somebody to protect me from Daniel Penny.
How are you? Welcome.
And we'd still have Neely alive. That's who we need protection from.
I don't know about that, Russ. I don't know about that. According to this break, I just want to say plain and simple here. 1 one more time, just for us.
You majored in Hate 101.
You've got a master's degree in that, Russ. Time for a break. Coming up next with me is Curtis Lewa.
This is Dominic Carter. Roger Stone here with an urgent warning. Inflation is killing the dollar, and Washington is coming for your savings to pay for their spending mistakes. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold. For a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything you need to know, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589 for your free gold guide and to learn if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver today.
Born on America's darkest day of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping America's heroes ever since. People who put their lives on the line for our country and our communities need your help now more than ever. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good in their honor. Never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices of this country's heroes and their families. Show your support. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
This is Judge Janine Pirro with an important message. A mom and her son were being followed by a man in a parking lot. As he approached their car, she pulled out her Byrna launcher, and the sight of it was enough to make him flee. Byrna gives you the power to protect your family without lethal force. No permits, no background checks, just peace of mind. Visit Byrna.com and use code Janine for 10% off. Remember, Byrna isn't legal in New York City or Yonkers. Stay safe, stay prepared with Byrna.
The word of the day is magnesium. Introducing Remag by Dr. Carolyn Dean. Experience the benefits of stabilized ionic magnesium and support your health today. Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off your first order. There's one mineral essential to longevity. Magnesium. Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off your first order. Magnesium.
Giving Tuesday is a global effort that encourages people to do good. Go to loveshriners.org. This year, please support Shriners Children. Go to loveshriners.org. Thank you.
Sid Rosenberg here. If you're searching for a vibrant, welcoming community for mom or dad, River Spring Living Senior Housing just may be the option you're looking for. Set on a beautiful 32-acre campus right along the Hudson River with incredible views of the New York City skyline, there are plenty of chances to engage in activities, wellness programs, and so much more. From independent living to assisted living and memory care, specialized teams are dedicated to making everyone feel right at home. See for yourself. Visit riverspringliving.org to schedule a tour today. That's riverspringliving.org.
Every weekend, Steelers makers are on 77 WABC. The Cats Roundtable. John Catsimatini with Gordon Jay.
The Chinese have to be extremely concerned, John, because you have two China hawks. Senator Marco Rubio, nominated to be Secretary of State, and Congressman Michael Waltz, who will be chosen as the National Security Advisor. And they understand China is out to get us, and they're not about to let that happen.
Roger Stone talking about President Trump.
I was with the president Saturday night. I've never seen him happier. I've never seen him more confident. I've never seen him more determined.
Joe Ditkovo with Charles and Young. 3 weeks before we released Ellen Is My Lady, I was there and that charted on the jazz charts higher than when it was originally out. So I appreciate you, your support, and your audience. Listen to these minicasts and more. Download the 77 WABC minicasts. Everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. This is the news and talk station of New York with Dominic Carter.
How do we keep guns off our streets?
Real New York, 77 WABC. And now, it's time for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Final Thoughts.
The Towers Foundation is the real deal, helping Americans, and with me, Curtis Lewa. What's going on today, Mr. Lewa?
Yeah, so you were patronizing me in this video. By the way, you take us on a tour of all the facilities on WABC Turk.
Yes, yes.
And you must be having a midlife crisis because you're using language. Daddy, come on. What are you, in your 20s?
Gen Z.
Gen Z. You don't even know what what the hell a Gen Z is. Listen to this patronizing by Dominic Carter.
Curtis Lewa, absolute charisma. That man got Max aura, big boss energy.
What the hell are you talking about?
A Gen Z. You know, I mean, you know, no cap, my brother, no cap.
Ain't nobody listening who's Gen Z right now.
Okay, but that's the whole point, right?
Oh, you think you're gonna get him to listen?
No, I don't think. I know I'm gonna get him to listen.
Man, you can knock yourself out. You can knock yourself out, Dominic Carter. And it's baby boomers who are listening to this program.
Don't hate on our social media team. You know, like I know, they make both of us look good.
Not only am I hating on you.
Oh my God.
What the hell was this you were promoting? You, like everybody else, doing the Trump dance? You should be ashamed of yourself.
You do it with me?
What was that, on Instagram?
Yes.
Instagram. You look at Dominic, and he's the one black guy who cannot dance. To YMCA. What is wrong with you? YMCA.
You want to do the Trump dance with me?
Hell no.
Live on the radio.
I don't do all these faddish things. All of a sudden, yeah, man. I mean, you can't sing as a black man. You can't dance. That's Instagram. I mean, if you can't do the Trump dance, the simplest dance.
1, 2.
Right. It's like, what do they do on those cruise lines? What's that shuffle dance they do?
Right.
Oh my
right.
God.
Right.
Man, would you do me a solid, man?
Yes.
Don't make a fool out of yourself. Like singing, a black man who can't sing, and now you're gonna see on Instagram a black man who's got no rhythm.
Well, do the Trump dance with me.
In fact, you look like Joe Biden. Remember at that Juneteenth celebration?
Yes.
When he was just like staring?
So do the Trump dance.
No, I don't be doing that. I'm not into this faddish stuff. And by the way, I noticed, listening to all of you callers calling in, Gail was stunned. Nobody's running against Alvin Bragg. Michael referred to him as Body Bag Bragg because of all the body bags.
You know what people don't understand about you? I don't know how you do this. You have all your extracurricular activities, but yet you listen to ABC, WABC in New York 24 hours a day.
Got to. Look, this is our livelihood. Can you imagine there are people here at WABC, I'm not going to mention names, who earn a good paycheck, never listen to the station, except when they're on. How the hell?
Are you saying that's me?
I'm saying it's you, brother. Don't get nervous. You know what I'm saying is true. But anyway.
You know what gets me? First of all, it's TikTok.com at WABC Radio to see the video. What gets me, Curtis, is when callers call up and they want to give me a hard time about something you said or something Sid said.
Well, straight up.
I'm responsible for you guys.
Your caller like Liz, no one running against Alvin Bragg. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? My wife Nancy will run against James
behind the bus? You've been here before?
Yeah, anywhere on the right's fine.
Good luck. You have a good day. Take care.
Against Alvin Bragg. Check out my social networking, and you ain't gonna be seeing
nice
me
day.
make a fool out of myself.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Enjoy it.
Thanks.
So Nancy's really gonna run?
By Thanksgiving, if the Republicans don't come up with a candidate, you know Nancy is going for it. She's gonna take Bragg out.
Wow.
See how his mama
$11 a month. Donate $11 a month to the tunnel.
See how his mama
at T2T.org.
Speed camera reported ahead.
The tunnel, the towers,
Speed booker.
Jacob's family, a gift of a mortgage-free home. Police officer and K9 handler Jacob Russell Chapins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. Jacob had a deep passion for helping others and making a difference in his community. His passion for his family, community, and for his first responder family will always be remembered. He loved well and had a servant's heart. Jacob's wife, Savannah, will forever miss her brave and strong husband, and his little daughter Paisley longs for her father's hugs and kisses. But Savannah and Paisley are so grateful for the kindness of friends like you. Through Tunnel to Towers, the loss and hardship of heroes like Jacob is being turned into hope for their families. There's so much more to do to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices for us. Help Tunnel to Towers to help lift these heroes and their families. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York at 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 50.
59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
WABC chime time is 4 o'clock. It's 58 degrees, partly sunny on this Tuesday, November 19th. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Ritchie. Ukraine has fired U.S.-made missiles into Russia. We'll get the latest on that story coming up. But first, let's get a check on Wall Street with James Flippin.
Lisa, U.S. stocks finished mixed today. Tech shares advanced for the session. Investors look to shake off geopolitical concerns you mentioned, tied to rising tensions in the Ukraine-Russia war. Treasury yields moved lower as investors bought up bonds looking for a safe haven, as the so-called Wall Street fear gauge spiked today. In today's economic data, housing starts and building permits fell for the third straight month. In October, residential construction starts fell just over 3%. Building permits, which signal future construction, fell just over 0.5%. And new home construction in October was down nearly 4% year over year. Company-specific news, Delta Airlines has announced what it's calling a first-of-its-kind collaboration with burger chain Shake Shack to provide burgers and shakes for flights at 30,000 feet in the sky. NVIDIA led tech stocks higher ahead of its closely watched earnings report due tomorrow. And Walmart saw its share price pop after posting better-than-expected earnings. The retail giant also raised its outlook for discretionary spending. On the whole, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 121 points, the S&P 500 up 0.40%, and the NASDAQ Composite up 1.04%. That's the 77 WABC Market Report. I'm James Flippin.
Moscow says Ukraine is beginning to fire U.S.-made missiles into Russia. Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh criticized Russia for changing its nuclear doctrine. The Kremlin will now consider any aggression from a non-nuclear state that has help from a nuclear country as a joint attack. Moscow said it shot down 5 U.S.-made missiles on Tuesday.
The same irresponsible rhetoric that we've seen before, and that we've seen, frankly, for the past 2 years.
President-elect Trump's sentencing in his hush money case is being adjourned by a New York court. The November 26th sentencing was indefinitely adjourned today with no explanation as Judge Juan Merchan mulls over how to handle the case now that Trump has been elected. Merchan could rule that sentencing should still proceed, or that the case be paused for 4 years, or be dismissed altogether. The judge overseeing Sean Diddy Combs' alleged sex trafficking case is reportedly calling for an emergency hearing. Combs' lawyers say feds raided his jail cell and seized privileged materials, including notes to his legal team about defense witnesses and strategies for his trial, which is set today in New York. Firefighters are now battling yet another brush fire in Manhattan. In West 160th Street and Harlem Drive in Harlem is causing very heavy traffic delays through the area. Residents are being told to close windows and avoid breathing in too much of the smoke. In sports tonight, the Hornets take on the Brooklyn Nets, the Islanders are at the Calgary Flames, and the Rangers are at the Vancouver Canucks. The forecast from the Randy Mazda Weather Center, partly sunny skies for the rest of today, a high of 59. Tomorrow looks mostly cloudy with a high of 61 and rain for Thursday. It's 58 degrees with partly sunny skies outside our midtown.
Rain, go away, come back and
never stops. The WABCRadio.com.
WABC.
Is how you reach us. 800-848-9222. And indeed, there always is a plethora of news to attend to. Alvin Bragg, it looks like, is still pushing.
What's your name?
He actually walked into court himself for a change.
Hashim?
To file a document He is looking now to not get rid of the hush money case, as it is called, the bogus case against Donald Trump. He wants to postpone it perhaps until Trump is out of office after his second term, and then go after him again. That's the bottom line that I take away from all the stories. Earlier this afternoon, breaking headline came out that the judge had adjourned the case.
Newark, you going to Newark?
The next step in the case without explanation, and of course that got a lot of hopes up that this thing was finally going to be tossed out. That is not the case. Right now, it is still being weighed whether or not to adjourn it for the next 4 years or something else. So to me, it's news, no news. But a step perhaps forward. Now we know the intentions of Alvin Bragg, which should not surprise anybody, to persecute, continue to persecute, even if it means just putting it off for 4 years. Speaking of judges, the Democrat Party, under the leadership of Chuck U. Schumer, has been trying their best to, I guess, confirm as many judges as they can before Donald Trump takes office. John Thune, the new Senate Majority Leader, stuck a wrench in that. The Senate held a sort of a slowdown on activity so that they couldn't just go bippity-bop-to-boo and get as many judges in with crazy. No, we're not going to do that. Now, Donald Trump has weighed in. President-elect Trump said the Senate should stop confirming judges before he's sworn in. Amid a frantic effort from the Democrats to confirm Biden's nominee, they're trying to stack the court with radical left judges on their way out the door. Republican senators need to show up and hold the line. No more judges confirmed before
Ashby,
put out a post.
Newark, Terminal C.
No doubt,
Terminal C, Charlie or Cookie.
The biggest story in Washington, D.C. is an old story made new by the fact that the Congress of the United States now has its first transgendered congressperson. It's a former guy that is now a woman, or claims to be a woman. However, your idea about however you frame it. Nancy Mace is not having it. Now, the bill targets that she has put out a resolution, a bill, she wants a bill that would ban Representative-elect Sarah McBride, as she calls stocks of weapons tested for Ukraine. But this change in Russian doctrine, there were basically before this 3 reasons for the use of nuclear weapons. If such weapons are used against Russia, it is a threat to regime survival, or if its army is surrounded.
What about Ukraine? What have we heard?
Speed camera reported ahead.
While Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has declined to confirm or deny the first use of the long-range American weapons, he only said that it must be pat down